You know how sometimes you get so busy doing what you love that time just slips away? I can't even believe it. Today, this video I'm making for you is number 100. I love it. Let's get started. Hello, scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch, Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts, my 100th film, and today I'm going to take you to the prairie and to the desert with the new Scenic collections from Creative Memories. I cannot wait to show you what I've created. I have just enjoyed the rich, beautiful colors and the material that came with these products. So let's just take a look. So my inspiration for both of these collections, of course, were the products that came with it. We have a paper pack. You can see that beautiful Scenic paper there. But then there's 12 double-sided pages. I used every piece of paper. I used the coordinating cardstock. Some I used extra. I also, this is tangerine, canary, avocado, purple ice, hot fudge. I also brought in some dark green because I thought that looked good as well. I used almost all the stickers. There's just a couple of them left. Like you see, I just have a few scraps here. In addition, we had the recipe template. I already had this barn recipe template, but this is the one that they coupled with the Prairie, as well as this adorable chicken coop punch, which I was very excited to have because at my last school, Pine Jog Elementary, we had a chicken coop and the girls were my responsibility. We had hens in there. They were my responsibility. So I'm going to show a few things that I made with that. Now this is an edge punch. I left this on the edge so that you can see you can make it as thin or as thick as you want underneath it. And that's what I did. So I'm going to share that with you. I think since it's right here, I'm going to go ahead and start with the recipe template. As I said, I already had the barn, but I decided I wanted to use it for some of my chicken pictures, my beautiful chicken pictures. So I decided to use the front of the barn as a little display for my Pine Jog Elementary embryology program because we learned how, we had an incubator. A friend of mine has a farm, keeps chickens. So I didn't have to worry about anything happening to the chickens, any we couldn't keep. She was able to get homes for. So this was our first shell that emptied in the our first hatchling in our incubator. These were some of our babies. And I have more pictures on pocket pages that show the candling. We did candling with all the students in the school. So I didn't use all the design. That was what was in here. I didn't do the stripes. I used a paper that had a design on it. And then I did use a sticker, popped it up here. And I wanted to show you how I didn't cut out the clouds. I put it on white cardstock. So what I did was I just cut these 3 pieces of the blue sky, continued the blue sky here. And then in this section, I just colored, I used the dot pens, the yellow dot pen and the orange dot pen to make the sun and the sun's rays. So that's what I did on the front, and I can't wait to show you what I did on the back. Back of this, I'll put this in a top loading pocket. This is one of those Scenic pages. And I've been looking at the virtual crop, and I know, and I think maybe Lauren Hines or Noreen Smith maybe showed how to put the punch at the top of the pictures. It could have been Becky Belote for all I know. But in any case, I decided I would do that. It reminded me when I saw the virtual crop. So I just made a 4x6. I trimmed it to 4x6 after I punched out a couple of the little from the punch for the chicken. And the reason I want to have a special page for this is going to go in my career album. But the reason I wanted a special page, this was a collage photograph that my principal at the time, Craig Summer, at Pine Jog, he had the photographer make this with the school pictures. So it is a photograph of my favorite chicken. My favorite hen was Minerva Louise. And so he had it, had this collage made. This is all the students and staff of Pine Jog. And it says Pine Jog Elementary, 2014-2015, Miss Petuch's scientists with Minerva Louise, because he knew I loved her. I loved them all, but but she was my favorite. And that's her right there from a photograph that I had taken of her. But this was very, very special to me, and such a thoughtful gift that Mr. Summer did for me. So I wanted to make sure that I honored that, and what a gorgeous setting on this paper. So now I just want to show you one more thing in my career album. I decided that I wanted to add, because I didn't have this one. When I did this album on my crop away from home, we didn't have this punch yet. So I just added that to this. Here are my girls, two of my girls at the window in our chicken coop on the TV news, on the news show, and that's me peeking in where the eggs are, checking on what they're doing. They also got mail. You can see the little mailbox. So it was a perfect thing to add to this page. And then, as I said, I'll be adding, readjusting this now that I have some more the punch and other papers I'm going to add and fix this. But I just wanted to show you that. Here's another way to handle that scenic paper. What I did, and this was the Becky Bloat method, I cut 2 inches off each end, and then what I had in the middle was 8 inches left in the middle, made 4 inches on here, and you still preserve that beautiful scene, and then you have place for your photos in here. And I put this on the avocado cardstock, and then I used this was a sticker that I popped up on foam squares. The earth laughs in flowers, and because it held these little flowers across the prairie, and then of course you've got the cardstock on the back. So let's look at some more pages. This paper was really pretty. So, remember how, if you saw my last video, I said I love folded paper, I love to miter paper, and I love to make frames. So here I've mitered. I cut a strip off of here, flipped it over. Now I did mount this on white cardstock, both of them just on white cardstock. When you buy a pack of paper, that paper that comes with it, for instance, this one, you can use this for white cardstock because this is photo-safe paper. So don't discard this. Keep this and use it for white cardstock. And it's pretty lightweight, so it's not going to add weight to your album. Okay, so this one I made a frame, and I know I made a video that showed how to make the frame, but I made a 1.5 inch frame, and then I flipped what I cut out in the middle. Put a little, take time to enjoy the gifts of nature and protect our prairies as little signs here. And then you've got all this space for photos. And then, of course, it's the white cardstock on the back. So this would be very easy to put down on a regular page or to pop in a top loading pocket. You could even, you can put them side by side, and then you have the back to go. Okay, now some folded pages. This paper was really, really pretty. So this one was a scenic paper, but I didn't handle it quite the same way. So what I did was, this is the front and the back of one sheet of paper. So I used on the left side, of course, I folded it over for the clouds, and then on this side, this arch design, of course, on the other side, that ties them beautifully together. And then I put these little stickers that were here, that came with the collection as well. It's really a beautiful, rich looking double page spread that makes me, it's ready for us to put our pictures on there, but it makes me feel peaceful because of the clouds. And I picked up on canary. On the canary, this is one of the coordinating cardstock colors. I think that really picks up on that light that's shining on those clouds. Very pretty. And then it's just cardstock on the back. Okay, another folded page, folded double page, I should say. So, folded double page, picked up on this tangerine color. That's what I put here. And then I decided to use a gray. This gray, I don't think gray was on the one of the coordinating colors, but I thought I would pick up on the gray that's here. And I think this might have been steel gray, just a cardstock color that I had that I thought went with it. And I decided to use my wheat punch, which they brought back right after I did the springtime and I did the spring soiree, and I made the purple salvia. They brought it back right after that. So that might still be available, that wheat punch. But I thought that looked really pretty on there. And it's kind of like a silhouette of the wheat. And then added some touches of flowers and butterflies, and you know me with the flight lines. I just love drawing those flight lines. And then it's the plain cardstock on the back. The next one. Okay, so I picked up on the purple ice, and which is this coloring this coneflower here. And we've got some daisies and some sunflowers. Really pretty. And I decided to flip what I did with the papers. Like, you know, I put down this first cut for a border of the design paper, but then I toned it down a little with the brown, but then brought that design back there. So I just really played with it. I didn't want to make it matchy on both sides, but I did want it to coordinate. So that's how I handled it. And I've got my photo mats here. They are a little bit busy, but you know, you'll trim your pictures a little bit smaller. That will fit perfectly, and they're both on the purple ice. And this is a single page. This is the last one because I still had some more of that paper left. So I decided that I would add some characters from the prairie dogs. They kill me. They're so fun. I saw a lot of them in Colorado. They are hilarious. And then a little fox. I think that's a fox, not a wolf. That looks too thin to be a wolf. But in any case, again, used the canary, picked up beautifully on the color of the flowers and the butterflies. Taking the Scenic root, a little journal box right there. We're good to go. And now I did make a couple of borders. I only made one vertical border. And that was, I used this, the flip side of this pattern paper I used for the barn. So I used that strip with the kind of wheat on it, added the wheat here. I thought that was really pretty homegrown. Here's that pretty design again. I had one more little piece of it left for this one. And again, just backed it. Very simple, but very easy. There we go. Here's another one. Nothing like the prairie sunrise. And you got those clouds picking up the color. This one, I used that paper, and just to give it a little more interest, I cut it with the, this one, I think I used the Deco blade. I thought that would be a nice blade to use with that on a 12-inch trimmer. It's a couple little borders here. And then here, I got some more prairie critters for a double page. Got a buffalo here, little fence, a little quail, some butterflies flying. And the prairie is my happy place. Very simple. This was a border sticker. Very simple. That sky blue. Actually, I think it's called baby blue color. And the last border is this one. So I wanted to use that fence, and I did pull out the grassland punch, which is another one they brought back because it's a very popular, wonderful punch. So I put the fence by the grasses. Then I thought, well, I think we need some wildflowers, little violet-looking things in the grasses growing in the wildflowers. We don't call them weeds, we call them wildflowers. So I added those, and then so that they would have a little more interest, I used the shimmer pen, purple shimmer pen, and the gold shimmer pen, just to add a little interest to the center of each of the blossoms. And that is my collection for the prairie. And now I want to show you the desert collection. Okay, so here is the paper for the desert scenes. Here's that one Scenic sheet and all the double pages. Beautiful, beautiful palette. Is the dark sea green, avocado, cranberry, hot fudge, and tangerine. And I believe I did also use the dark green as well when I used this collection. I used pretty much all the paper. There are a couple of scraps, a few stickers left. And this had the cactus recipe template, which I really loved. And you could do all those little diagonal lines and cutting and everything, but I didn't do that much. I'll show you. Mine's kind of simple, but I think it's really, really pretty. And here it is. So this is a saguaro cactus, so I did saguaro sunshine, and I did add this palette of colors. Is just so pretty. So I did add that southwestern kind of color palette on here for the diagonal lines. I chose the background paper that had like the sagebrush and those kind of things. And then I picked up on the blue, did just in the corners here, but here as well. And that gives a nice space for two. These are 4x4, so just a little, your photo's just a little bit under 4x4. And this, I use this cactus paper. It's a cactus design paper that has the little thorns on it and everything. And that's that, but I really like it. And then if you look at the back, if I put it in the top loading pocket, then I have this nice desert page for the back. Now, as well, I use this punch, the Cacti punch, which is really, really easy to use and beautiful. I didn't punch an extra one, but here's one of the borders that I made with it. And I doubled it because I punched it with this dark green because I wanted it dark green. And then I just put another strip of avocado under it so you could see it. So it's a little bit layered. And here's a little wolf and desert dweller on here. And then I really played with it and wanted to use that tropical or that dark sea green color. And so I punched it with that because it has that kind of same tone color in here. I thought I would pick up on that. Put a cactus on the cactus, but gives it a little more dimension. So this, I really love this cacti. It's a beautiful, beautiful punch. And as I said, very easy to use. So while we're doing that, let's just do the other borders. I have this one, Soul Searching. And then this, I use that beautiful patterned paper here. And then put, this is a sticker strip with like the buttes and things in the distance. Really pretty. Picked up on that same color here. Simple but effective. And then I did two vertical ones. This one with the horse. Just used some of the designs, and then here with the snake and a flower at the top. Very simple. Again, I honestly used scraps that I had left because I didn't want to waste them. So that's what I did. Now let's take a look at my pages because I really loved working with this palette. This first one is with the tangerine from Cactus to Canyon, and in my routines I did the folded paper here, and this is again was a 3-inch. This looks like a 3-inch fold. I can measure it right here on my wonderful mat. Yep, 3-inch fold. Okay, so I did a 3-inch fold because I wanted to have both of the patterns on here. And I also then did that like they're doing the virtual crop right now. I used my punch at the top. This has enough space for a 4x6 photo, 6x4 photo. And then I just added some of the hot fudge, some more cactus, and little sticker embellishments. Some up on, this is on foam squares, this is on foam squares, and this is flat on there. But it's really pretty, ties it all together. It's that those rich colors of the desert, of the southwest, not necessarily just the desert, but of the southwest. I love this design, these designs. Okay, so these are stickers. This paper, I know it's busy, but what I decided to do was to make a frame. So I made a frame out of this, and on this, and then flip this over. This is the flip side of it. So I did a 1.5-inch frame, added a little embellishment. I created this embellishment with 3 stickers on just a square of that paper, of a scrap of that paper. I used this same design paper over here for the mat, and then I have 2 mats that are from this, also the same design. But I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful, rich palette. I really loved working with this. This I put on white cardstock, and this of course is on the tangerine. And I did pop these up on foam squares. I really had fun working with this. Get some more blues here. So this I used, did I miter? No, I had one strip of that paper, and I thought, I'm going to add that here and then use the whole sheet on this side. So that's what I did. And then I matted it, mounted that piece of paper on the dark green. I think the dark green looks really rich with these colors also. So I mounted on a dark green, and so that's why I punched out the cacti with the dark green and then tied this green in with this by having the mats here, and of course just unified the whole thing by the colors that I chose. And then this border, this is a sticker border at the top, which had that green, and also that the dark sea green here. And then this you could use for a photo, but I think what I would use it for is as a little journal box. I could use those writing strips, or just cut a small piece of paper, either lined paper or just a smaller piece of paper to write a little journaling in there. But I just love the richness of this collection. Some more blue. Love my blue. Okay, so blues and green, these blues and greens. So I did fold here. What did I do here? Okay, yeah, this was just a strip of paper that I had left. I folded it over here, and this was a strip left over from another cut. So folded it here, added it here to tie it together, and then I put my little cacti on the mat, the photo mats as well. A couple of embellishments. Just love the look of it. There we go. And these were just strips of, again, scraps. I'm trying to use every scrap that I have from this collection. So that's what I did. These were the coordinating cardstocks. So there's that double page. And then I did this Scenic page. I did it my usual way of cutting it, 2 inches on the edge, then taking the middle part and cutting it in half. So I did one like that, just to be, to do my traditional way so that you really can see that Scenic paper. Added one of these little mats with the photo mats with the punch at the top, coordinated that punch at the bottom to tie it all together, and then use the same green, so I bring my 2 pages together. So this, and then this is up on foam squares. So there's one way to do it, but then I was thinking it's too bad I couldn't cut and miter this, but of course if you flip it over to miter it, it's not going to work. But look what I did. Here's what I decided to do. I got a little bit out of my comfort zone, just because I don't do a lot of fussy cutting, but I'm really happy I did it on this one. So I took this one and I looked at the design and at a place where it would be logical to cut it. So that's what I did. I fussy cut away here, put my little coyote there, howling under the stars, and then the strip that was up here, it was, was cut out right here. So I decided to unify it and finalize it by putting a little strip of paper here at the top and at the bottom, picked up on that hot fudge to tie it all together. And then because it said under the stars, I didn't want to do actual stars. So I don't know how much you can see it. The shimmery, that's the gold shimmer pen. I made little dot stars because truly that's what we see here, the little dots. Anyway, and I am really, really happy with the way that turned out. It just takes me away to the desert under the stars. Well, thanks so much for watching part 2 of my Scenic Collection videos. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got some good ideas. Try to do something a little bit different because that's just what I do. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. I did put some links there for the Prairie and for the Desert Scenic Collections. Also, some links to my videos where I worked with the recipe templates if you haven't seen that as well. So again, if you don't have an advisor, I would love to be your advisor. If you do have an advisor, though, shop with your advisor. We really appreciate your support. And if you want to take advantage of all the perks that advisors have, let's have a little conversation. I would love that. Until next time, happy scrapbooking.